fundraisers. We're going to be starting, so make sure that you are ready to go. Great, so officially welcome on this beautiful Thursday evening. If you are in the Ontario region, you will be enjoying the beautiful spring summer-like weather that we're having right now. So thank you so much for spending some of your Thursday evening with me here. Today we'll be talking about optimizing your online fundraising page and some quick and easy fundraising activities. Are you looking for a fundraiser that you can do from home? A lot of our fundraisers are super busy with lots and lots of extracurricular activities at school, university, or all kinds of different things that make them super busy. So if you're looking for something that will fit into your super busy schedule that you can do from home, you're in the right spot. Online or social media presence. If you do, online fundraising is going to be a super useful tool for you because you already have that network that you can reach out to. A lot of our very successful online fundraisers have a social media or online presence, which means they have lots of Facebook friends, or they have a lot of followers on Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat. They may also have access to a bunch of email addresses that they can send e-blasts to. That's what I mean when I say a social media or online presence. You already have an online fundraising page, Me2We or elsewhere, and you're looking to expand its reach? Well, the answer to these three questions is yes, and you are in the right spot because we will be talking about how to optimize your online fundraising page for the majority of this webinar. And towards the end, I'm going to give you some really amazing, dirty fundraising ideas that you can add to your plan to fill any gaps that you currently have. Said, let us get started. First, we're going to be focusing on online fundraising and how to optimize or maximize the reach of your current online fundraising page. We're also going to walk you through how to go ahead and launch an online fundraising page. Just in case you're having trouble getting started, we're going to walk you through with screens how you can go ahead and set up your online fundraising page Me2We. I just want to introduce myself to those of you I have not spoken to or met. My name is Amanda, and I'm your fundraising coach. It's so great to meet you. If you're ever free or you've got some time, feel free to give me a shout. I always love chatting with our fundraisers, hearing what you're up to, getting an update on your current fundraising progress, or if you ever need any support, I am totally here to support you every step of the way. A couple of pictures of me along my fundraising and travel journey. There's a couple of photos from some of my travel experiences. There's one from Guatemala in the top left. Top right is my most recent trip to India. I'm doing a water walk here in Kenya. In the middle, in the bottom photo, that's me in Indonesia, where I worked and lived for quite a few months. The top center is me at one of my most successful fundraisers, where we held a dodgeball tournament on campus at our university. And the bottom right is me playing hockey. And one of the things that I did to fundraise for both of my trips is I taught power skating and skating lessons to younger hockey players. And that was something that I did to fill some gaps in my fundraising plan as well. So we'll talk about that as well throughout the webinar. So I wanted to go over a couple of housekeeping tips. If you cannot hear me right now, let me know in the chat room. I have one fundraiser who is here at the webinar who's telling me that they cannot hear me. If anybody else is having this problem, go ahead and just let me know in the chat room. If you can hear me currently, maybe also just shoot that in the chat message so I know that it's not my computer and I can go ahead and help the other fundraiser troubleshoot. So I'm just going to take a pause here for a second to make sure that everybody can hear me. Thank you so much for your patience while I help sort this issue out for one of our participants who currently is having a difficult time hearing the webinar. Just a quick note, oftentimes the webinars, the sound may not work the same on a computer or a desktop computer as they do on a cellular phone or an iPad. Sometimes it doesn't work on the same systems, so just to keep that in mind as well. Words. Housekeeping tips. If you're around, why not invite your parents or someone, someone in the household who can help you take some notes or keep some ideas and use them for your plan down the road. Like to take notes later, we're going to go over some very important things, so it is always handy to take notes. Here is currently on mute. I just wanted to make sure that you're all not wondering why you hear yourself, but you're all on mute. So if you have something to do in the background, you've got the TV playing, don't worry, you don't have to be quiet. You're all on mute. And then if you have any questions or want to share something towards the end of the webinar, I will unmute you and you can share with the entire group. But currently you're on mute, so you don't have to worry about any noise or talking in the background. Your connection to the webinar, don't panic, this happens sometimes. You can simply log in again with the same details that you logged in previously with and join back up with us where we currently are. Last, if you do have questions throughout the webinar, I do run the webinars by myself, so if you have any questions, it's often difficult for me to answer those throughout the webinar. So just go ahead and type them into the chat room. I will be sure to answer all of those questions at the end of the webinar. I promise I will get to every single question, so if you do have questions throughout the webinar, simply pop those into the chat room. It looks just like this, and I will answer all of those questions at the end of the webinar. Let's quickly talk a little bit about the goal and the agenda for today's webinar. So again, thank you so much for spending your Thursday evening with me. But tonight we were going to be talking about some very important things. I'm really glad you decided to come. First, we're going to quickly review the 5 fundraising buckets. If you've listened to or been to any of the previous webinars, you will know very well the 5 fundraising bucket strategy that I use with all of my fundraisers. I find it the most successful strategy, and it's tried, tested, and true. It's worked for youth fundraisers, it's worked for school group fundraisers, it's worked for adult fundraisers, corporate fundraisers. So it's actually something that has been proven to work quite well. Today, we're going to review those 5 fundraising buckets quickly, and we're going to dive deeper into 2 of those buckets. The first one being online fundraising. Cover what online fundraising is all about and why I think it's a great way to fundraise, especially for a trip. Talk about how to launch your personal Me2We fundraising page right online through your trip portal. And this is going to be a great tool for you. So we're going to walk you through how to launch that through screenshots. We're also talk about some very important tips for maximizing your online fundraising page. Now, there have been lots of crowdfunding pages out there that have been successful and have done a lot of studies to find out ways to make sure that our pages are as optimal as possible and we're getting the most reach with them. So we're going to go through some of those tips that have been proven successful. We're going to talk about some quick and easy fundraising activities that you can add to your plan to fill any last-minute fundraising gaps. Now, I mentioned that a lot of you are very, very busy. You've got a lot on your plate, extracurricular activities, school, all kinds of sports and arts and all kinds of things, which is amazing, but it doesn't give you a lot of time to fundraise. Today, I wanted to highlight 2 ways that you're going to be able to fundraise with very time-friendly fundraisers. The first being online fundraising, and the second are these quick and easy fundraising activities. So using your unique skills to do a job. have some time for sharing and questions at the end of the webinar. So before we begin, I wanted to again go over 5 fundraising buckets. First being online fundraising, which is something that we're going to be covering today in more detail. And was the topic of our previous webinar is sponsorships and partnerships. Just to give you a quick idea of what this would entail, it's approaching local businesses and small businesses to see if they can potentially donate towards your trip, either with a monetary donation or with a gift in kind. So maybe a gift card or an item that you can use at an auction or raffle. Fundraising bucket is fundraising events. We talked a little bit more about fundraising events in one of our previous webinars as well. These are the most typical fundraising activities. So these are the coffee houses and the tournaments and the dances and talent shows. So these are the fundraising events, breakfasts, dinners, all kinds of things where you invite people, sell tickets, and they come to your fundraising event. The fourth fundraising bucket is selling an item for a profit. This is something that we've talked about in great detail. This is one of my favorite fundraisers because you're offering value in exchange for a donation. So you're selling something like a Midori Rafiki or something that you've made handmade, like an infinity scarf or a painting. So this is selling an item to make a profit. Fifth fundraising bucket is another bucket that we're going to be talking briefly about today, is just those general fundraising activities. So the way I look at fundraising activities are things that you can do with your person, your unique skills to raise some money towards your trip. So we're going to talk a bit more about some of those really exciting, easy fundraising activities that will probably fit pretty well into a lot of your busy schedules. About 5 fundraising buckets, and we like to split them into these 5 buckets, is because we like to suggest that you have your hand in multiple different fundraising buckets at the same time in order to maximize your fundraising. So you're going to want to be doing a couple of things from each of these buckets throughout your entire plan in order to make sure that you reach your goal as quickly and as conveniently as possible. So with that, we're going to dive into online fundraising, and we're going to talk a little bit about what online fundraising is for those of you who aren't familiar with it. So online fundraising is oftentimes called crowdfunding, and crowdfunding is really engaging a variety of different individuals to support a cause. So online fundraising, I guess, generally refers to using the internet to raise money for a cause or organization, and in this case, it's going to be your trip. So you can raise online for a variety of different things. An organization or a charity may have their own online fundraising platform, or individuals may fundraise online for anything like hospital bills or vet bills, or the cost of travel expenses. There's all kinds of different reasons some might crowdfund or choose to fundraise online. Fundraising pages can be created as a platform for an individual cause. Again, this is your trip. So a fundraising page can be created or built as a platform to raise money for these different causes. Again, your trip would be the cause this time. They're collected on an online fundraising platform, donations made with credit cards. So it's a really great way for people who frequently use their credit cards to contribute towards their trip, especially if they collect points or miles. They're able to get a couple extra kickback of those if they're making a donation with the credit card. This year, we're happy to provide our fundraisers with Me2We online fundraising pages that are in partnership with CrowdRise. So these are pages that have a Me2We logo, and they're directly linked to your trip. You can sign up to your very own fundraising page and watch those donations roll in directly towards your trip. So this is going to be a really, really amazing tool, and we're going to talk a little bit about why online fundraising is such an amazing tool. So first, I think online fundraising is something that is going to fit into a lot of busy schedules because it's not something that you have to do a ton of planning for. You really have to execute an online fundraising page and make sure that you're putting work into customizing it and keeping it up. But there isn't a whole ton of legwork involved in fundraising online, which is really, really great for a lot of you. All funds that you raise on your Me2We online fundraising page go directly to your trip. Now, this is going to be super convenient and super helpful because you can make a donation, and that will be reflected right on your trip portal, and take it that will be taken off from the next payment of your trip. If you have any questions about how that works, feel free to reach out to us, but it's pretty. We just link your personal online fundraising page through what trip you're on to a Me2We bank account, and then once the funds get transferred into the Me2We bank account, we apply those to your individual trip. There is so it's a really convenient way for people to donate directly to your trip without having to call in or send a check. You can also track your fundraising progress right on your page with a thermometer type bar that will show how much you've raised out of your entire goal, which is going to be really helpful. Another great perk of having a Me2We online fundraising page is that you don't have to collect or keep track of any cash or checks, because again, a donation made on your Me2We online fundraising page goes directly to your trip, your specific trip, which is really convenient for you. Donors can contribute at their own convenience. So even if they're overseas, even if you have family and friends that are all over the globe, they can all contribute to your trip using your online fundraising page, which is going to be also very convenient for you. Or if you were having, potentially an event, if you wanted to make donating quite ear accessible, you could just have a laptop at the event where people can, just donate a couple of, X dollars to your particular trip, which is really great. And another perk that's not even on this page is that once someone donates, they get a receipt of their donation. It's not a tax receipt. It's just a general receipt of their donation that they can use for their records. So it's all great as a donor to have something like that. And this way, you don't have to worry about sending anything to them. This goes right to their email when they donate onto your fundraising page. We're going to jump into walking everybody through how to launch your Me2We online fundraising page and really explore the nitty-gritty of the page and get everything that you can out of it. So first, if you already have launched your online fundraising page, maybe the next couple of slides might be redundant. However, we are going to talk about how to best use all of the features on your fundraising page as well. So this is going to be really key. So you're going to want to go to your Me2We online portal. Now, hopefully you've all been able to set up your portal. You'll be able to access this awesome fundraising section on your portal as soon as you've submitted your application. So if you've submitted your application, you'll be able to see this section here and these 4 tiles. One will allow you to join our Facebook fundraising group. One will auto-populate a fundraising reference letter that you can download and print to your computer. Another one will populate some speaking points that will be directly applicable to your specific trip that you can use when you're talking to donors. And then fourth will be a button that says Start Fundraising Page. And you can click that tile right on the words, and then you will bring this second step, the second page, which will be directly tied, on your portal to your destination. So if I were on a Me2We trip to India, it would open this page here where it knows that I'm going to India and it's asking me to get started. Get started. This page will show up. So this is where you choose a team to join. Your team will be your individual trip. So whether you're on a university trip or India A or India B, knowing that information is very important because that's the team that you want to join. The title for your specific trip to sign up for your page. Do this by logging in using Facebook. It will connect directly to your Facebook login information, or you can click the button at the very bottom of this box that says Sign Up, the blue button that says Sign Up. It will give you a space to enter your name, email address, and password, and then you will join the team. So this is you signing up for your page. We still are in this process. We still have that link to your specific trip. So we know your name, we know the trip that you're on, and that's how we direct the funds to your trip. So this is very important that you enter this information in properly. So join the team. You will have your very own customizable MeWe online fundraising page, and this is what it should look like. This is also slightly what your donors will see, other than the straight along the bottom with View Fundraiser, Edit Fundraiser, Manage Campaign, Report Center. Your donors will see the same type of fundraising page as you see right now with that donate button. So all they do is click that donate button, enter in their information, and they're donating towards your trip. So this is what you will see. This is going to be your view. Just keeping that in mind throughout all of these screenshots. This is these views are what you as a fundraiser are going to see, not what your donors are going to see. Scroll from the first section. We this white area in the middle here. This is where the bar will go to track your progress. So right now I obviously have raised $0, so I've got no bar there. But as soon as you start receiving donations, a bar will show up that will track your progress to your fundraising goal. Also read more about MeWe trips and to more information through your page, which is going to be great for them as well. What you're going to be seeing when you log in, when you first launch your page. So we're going to go a little bit more detail and help you explore your online fundraising page. So this is your View Fundraiser. This is you viewing your fundraiser. Next, we're going to explore the Edit Fundraiser tab, which is right here with this blue arrow attached to it. So you're going to want to hit when you customize your online fundraising page and make it your own, which is going to be very important, and we're going to talk more about customizing your page and making it, telling your story through your page. Click Edit Fundraiser. You will be brought to a new page that looks a little bit like this. There, you can enter in the information about your fundraiser that shows up on the main page. So this is going to be your blurb. This is going to be about you. We're going to talk a little bit more about what kind of things that you want to include in this section of page, but you're definitely going to want to be as detailed as possible and as passionate as possible in this space. This is what your donors are going to see first. They're going to read about you, about why you want to go on this trip, why it's important to you, and we're going to talk more about these things that you want to hit in this section, but make sure you go in and you edit this and then hit save, and this will then directly be on the, directly appear on the fundraiser section, which is where what your donors will see when they first visit your page. And from here, you see a section for you to add your fundraiser goal. So if you click that orange edit button, you can enter in whichever amount you are currently fundraising for. The maximum amount should be the cost of your trip. You're not able to fundraise over the cost of your trip online, because once we have fully funded your trip, that extra money has nowhere to go. So we have to then refund the money to you, and refunding money is subject to a 5% fee, which is not ideal because we don't want you to lose any of your hard-earned money. So fundraising goal should be the maximum of the cost of your trip. If you need to fundraise only for a smaller amount than the cost of your trip, you're more than welcome to put lesser than the cost of your trip, but your fundraising goal should be maximum amount should be the full cost of your trip. Anything more than that, we won't be able to accept as an online donation. So the fundraising goal, be able to upload photos. So you can upload a photo slideshow. You can also upload a compelling video about your fundraiser. So those two orange edit buttons, you can upload both of those pieces. Now, we're also going to talk a little bit more about this as we go through some tips and tricks on making the most optimal fundraising page or the most engaging fundraising page. So stay tuned for that, but just note it's very important that you upload a photo, a video, a goal, and you use these spaces to customize your page so that it's more engaging and your donors can follow your journey and they know what you're actually up to. So fundraiser page, this is what you're going to see when you first launch your page. I just have to go back here because now we're going to look at the Manage Campaign tab. So we've just looked at the Edit Fundraiser tab. Now we're going to look at what happens when you click the Manage Campaign tab. Your campaign tab, you're brought to your online fundraising page dashboard. This is a great space. Now this is going to be where you keep all of your information and you can pull all of the details on any of your donations and your progress to date. Also be the space where you can spread word about your campaign through social media or through email as well. You can also access the URL to share your online fundraising page here. On the side here, the My Fundraisers section is just going to show you where, if you have multiple different fundraisers, which maybe most of you will not, you will be able to see, if you click My Fundraisers, all of the different fundraisers that you have currently set up. You likely will only have one, and that will be your MeWe trip. We'll bring you back to this here. Fundraiser. See if that tab is highlighted at the bottom there. If you click the View tab, it will bring you back here. It will also bring you back here. To show you some of the other fundraisers that may be fundraising and sharing that information on Rise that are part of your trip as well. So you can see some of the other fundraisers on your trip and how well that they're doing it. You can kind of connect and compare that way. The Advanced tab will allow you to copy and paste your fundraising page widget. Now, I'm not sure if any of you have your own website, but if you do have your own website, you can use a widget, which is like a URL, to embed a link to your web page. If you have any questions, if you do have a web page and you're interested in learning more about widgets, please connect with us directly and I can walk you through it. But for interest of time, we're not going to dive deep into widgets today. This middle, this is where you're going to be able to track progress, see all of the donations made. You're going to be able to see the track and chart all those donations, which is going to be really neat data. So this will help you kind of figure out when your donors are donating, how they're donating. So it'll be a great way for you to kind of keep track of how your page is working for you. Important space. These orange buttons here. This is how you are going to be able to share your online fundraising page on Twitter, Facebook, as well as email. So this button where the arrow is pointing right now, with the little mail button, this is how you can send emails directly to your potential donors through your online fundraising page. Now, this is not mandatory. You're able, if you have your own Gmail or Yahoo account and you want to send your emails personally that way, you're more than welcome, and I can help you with that. We're going to walk you through that as well. But if you don't, or if you just want to send the link to your page through your CrowdRise account, you can do that by clicking this button. That button, this pop-up box will show up. So this is where you can enter in the email addresses or the campaign info for your friends and family. So you can enter in up to 10 emails and send the URL directly to your donors through this up here. Obviously, you have to click the "I'm not a robot" tab, and then you can go ahead and click send, and then all of the email addresses in that box will receive the link to your online fundraising page, which is going to be great. super. You to scroll down on your dashboard below that graph that you saw in the previous slide, you'll see that you're able to post updates to your donors as well, which is going to be one of your most amazing tools. It's one of my favorite tools. So you can actually send emails to all of the people who have actually contributed to your campaign by the click of a button. So I've already written a template in here just on my page that I'm alerting my donors that there's only 3 months until Ecuador. So you've successfully fundraised over 3/4 of the entire cost of your trip. Help me reach my goal by donating today. So this is you updating all of your donors, letting them know where you are in your current and then just asking them to can help support you reach your goal. So this is some way that you can customize a note and send an update to owners who have contributed to your page section. You'll also see here on the right side with this blue arrow a link. If you copy and paste this link and post it on Facebook or post it in an email, this is the link that your donors will click on and will be directed to your online fundraising page to donate. It's the magic link. So writing your own personal emails from your email account and you want to route it to different people, BCC them or we write one email per person, you just copy and paste this link in that email and they can click directly on that and be directed to your page. To our View Fundraiser tab, we have one tab left to visit, and that's the Report Center. I'm going to walk you through the Report Center and all of the tools that exist there. So you help you track your donations. You can pull reports, you can export those reports, and you can find donor information on this section here in the Report Center. The note along the bottom, just alerting everybody to the fact that your campaign page will be closed. You have fully paid for your MediaWe trip and will no longer accept contributions from donors. So it will shut down if you have fully paid for your trip. Again, that's because if we're receiving money above and beyond the cost of your trip, it has nowhere to go, and we actually have to refund that in the form of a check, and that check is subject to 5% admin fee. So you'll lose money if you over fundraise and require a refund. Received by to be in excess of your trip cost, again, will be refunded to you less $5 or 5% of your over fundraised balance, whichever is greater. Wanted to remind everybody that the total cost of the total goal of your fundraising campaign page should only be maximum the amount of your trip. Okay, so that was me walking you through to launch your online fundraising page and play around with some of the tools and functionalities that your page has. Now we're going to walk through some of the most important highlighted tips and tricks for online fundraising success. And most important tip that I always share with fundraisers is storytelling. Storytelling to me is the most important aspect of any successful fundraising campaign. I always share that for me, the reason why I have been so successful in fundraising is because I'm always very open and honest when I tell my story. And I like to share what makes me tick, why I'm passionate about what I'm passionate about, and really share my experiences with potential donors and really dig deep using my tone of voice, using my eye contact, and really using my experiences to my benefit. Some most successful fundraising campaigns really describe their situation honestly. So you're going to write your story with vivid, heartfelt words that you would use to explain your trip to a friend. Some points on that I want to highlight here are making sure that you are using those edit buttons and personalizing your fundraising page as much as possible with that heartfelt description and using lots and lots of photos. your photos as much as possible, and potentially uploading a video if you can. The winners, like I mentioned, who do the best or who are most successful, really make an effort to tell their stories. So what do you want to be when you grow up? Why does this trip matter to you? Do you want to be a doctor? Are you really passionate about healthcare? Do you want to travel to Kenya so that you can learn the Kenyan healthcare system and come back and advocate for universal healthcare? Is that your dream? What is it? Like, down deep and figure out what it is that makes you passionate, makes you who you are. I also want to explain to your donors what you're raising money for, why it's important to you. Those are two really important things to hit on. Families see that you're passionate about your fundraising efforts, they are also more likely to give and give generously. And that's something that I've learned through my experience, many, many, many years of fundraising. Last fundraising page is so compelling that your supporters feel like they can't leave without donating. So only a few areas to customize on that page, so make sure that you're using them wisely. Reach out and consider how it will sound to potential donors. Like, which parts of the story will generate empathy and inspire the readers or your donors to care enough to make that donation. Just a quick note on photos and videos. High-quality images have a dramatic effect on fundraising success and viewers' ability to develop empathy for your cause. So you're going to want to find really great quality images of yourself, maybe doing some volunteer work, or maybe on a previous trip, or just a really great picture that shows the passion or the spark in your eyes, if you can find one. Because numerous images let you broaden the appeal, you're going to want to show diverse aspects of your passion. So maybe a couple of photos, you can upload, I think, 2 or 3. So you're going to want to upload as many as you can that can, is an idea of who you are. You can also update these photos frequently. So if you want to update them to something different that show your diversity, that would be great as well. I just need to note, videos are actually the most impactful way to communicate with your potential supporters, and they can drastically improve your fundraising success. Now, I found fundraisers last year who the most successful online fundraising used a video. And now you upload a video of yourself just to YouTube, either record it on your camera phone or something like that, and then embed that YouTube link right in that section on your page that we walked through under the Edit Fundraiser tab, and your video will appear right on the main of your fundraising page. So don't want to see you speaking. They want to hear the sound of your voice, the tone, see your face, and really get a feel for what makes this experience so important to you, so they're really compelled to donate. And is the most important part of fundraising is storytelling, using photos, using videos, using all kinds of really engaging tools. That's the first tip here. This really interesting fundraising tip for online pages is we suggest that you make the first donation yourself, or get someone really close to you to make that first donation. Have you ever seen tip jars at cafes, bars, or maybe even a piano bar or something like that, having a tip jar? Oftentimes these bars, baristas, pianists, they put their own money in the tip jar to start off, because once people see money in that jar, they feel more inclined to donate. It's a very strange thing. But if people see that you're already on your way to reach your goal, they may be more inclined to donate. So after it's all set up, go ahead and make that first donation. It can be small, $20, $25, but make sure it's an amount that you think your supporters will respond to. It really sets the tone for your fundraiser, and people like seeing that you're supporting your own cause as well. So they want to see that you're putting in all of this hard work into this, just as much as they would be if they were contributing. So if you're waiting for that ball to start rolling, one of the tips a lot of a lot of people who rely on tips do is to start that off on their own. I actually did when I was a waitress or bartender, putting your own money in a tip jar. I'm telling you, it's a very strange thing, but it starts getting people excited to donate or inspired to donate. Don't ask me why. It works. It just does. So a very, very important aspect to fundraising in general, or especially fundraising online, is promote, promote, promote. And I have that 3 times there for a reason. Because the more you promote your fundraising page, the better it will do. It seems pretty simple, right? Through some of the best ways to promote a fundraising page. First is email everyone you know, even if you have not spoken to them in years. You will be surprised at how many people will decide to donate when you ask. So first things first is collecting all email addresses that you can get your hands on, and then compile a list of all of those email addresses so that once you're ready with your page and with your email template that you want, your message that you want to send them, you can just type out those emails. So collect those email addresses right away, and then email everyone you know. Second, know your friends and family. Ask them to share your page with their friends and coworkers. People that maybe you don't have access to their contact information, but maybe your friends and family does. So have that as part of the ask in your email message. Share. Super easy. I know everybody is really into social media. We'll talk a little bit about social media versus email, but really just go ahead and share on social media right off the bat. You can do that, again, right through your page. Find that setting up a Facebook group includes a link to your fundraising page. If you have a Facebook account, definitely set up that group. Or a WordPress blog. Blogging really oftentimes helps online fundraising because people want more information about you and your journey, and they want to follow that. So setting up a blog is oftentimes really helpful and beneficial to online fundraisers. One of the best blog sites is WordPress. Promote your online fundraising page is if maybe you have a signature or somebody you know has an email signature, you can put the link to your online fundraising page in your email signature, or maybe your mom or dad at work has an email signature that they can just throw the link in, so that every time they send an email, the link is at the very bottom of it, so people who are interested can just click right and donate to your trip that way. And why not offline promotion to your page? So some fundraisers have made their own handmade business cards with the link to their page, and then they cut them out and hand those out to potential interested donors. So maybe you're out there shoveling snow and knock on someone's door and you ask, have $30 to shovel your driveway. And they say, absolutely, I'm really interested, that would be wonderful, but I don't have any cash. No problem, that's totally okay, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Here's my online fundraising page business card. You can go on inside where it's warm and go donate to my page, and I'll be outside shoveling your snow, and that's how you take payment for your shoveling by distributing those handmade business cards, so that your donors can conveniently take that home with them, and they have some time, they can log into their computer and donate online. Third and very important tip for online fundraising success is being persistent. While some people will donate the first to ask them, the reality is it will take at least 2 to 3 friendly reminders before a lot of your friends and family open up their wallet to you, and that's just the truth. You're going to want to keep everybody posted on your goals, your progress, your goals, your journey, how it's helping, and what it means to you personally. That's a very, very big piece. keep their donor base engaged with frequent updates tend to be the most successful because donors will come back and contribute more to help you reach those milestones. Reach out more than once, 2 or 3 times each person. Even use social networks to ask supporters to donate again and again. Because being relentless, this is great. It is a good cause. This trip is going to be well worth it. And as soon as your donors see that, they'll be very glad that they donated in the first place. Have plenty of people on your email list that don't read your first email or don't read it, but do read it, but forget about it. I shouldn't take that personally, really don't. But it gets so many emails. The key is being relentless or being on top of it. It's okay to email people up to 3 times to get them to donate. With each email, create a greater sense of urgency. Tell them that you really need their help to hit your goal. If you need help crafting these messages or just want to spell check with them, we're here for you. Let us know, pass them through us, and we're happy to help. Off of this slide, we found it was very interesting study that they did about online fundraising. Is that they found that focusing on a deadline or like a goal, you need to reach this amount of money in 3 months or 2 months, it actually yielded a higher donation. Requests that had specific deadlines, they received an average donation of $93, whereas those who did not have a deadline and just were open-ended, they only got a $60 average donation. So I thought that was an interesting note. So maybe that's something that you want to put in your message on the page, that you have this much time and this all needs to be done by a certain date, so people can feel that sense of urgency. Really great way for you to maximize your fundraising, because it's being creative and having fun, and who doesn't want to do that? Using fun incentives to get people to donate to your cause, maybe adding this to the explanation on the main section of your fundraising page, it can be a really great way to increase engagement. So a couple of examples of that would be like send a silly picture of yourself to supporters after they donate, or agreeing to shave your head, or maybe somebody else would shave their head, or once you reach a fundraising milestone, you can provide them with a gift or something. Maybe it's a gift with every donation. So maybe some fundraisers have done this in the past, where if for any donation over $100, that donor gets a free Rafiki. So that'd be a gift with a certain amount of a donation. Creative and incentivizing people to donate is a great idea and really unique. You offer your donors a chance to win a prize. So a great way to get people to donate is offering a raffle prize. So if you donate, you have a chance to win. You have a gift card to Starbucks or something like that. Really great way to be creative and have fun with your fundraising is getting your story in the media. Local paper will usually be more than happy to write about your fundraising efforts if you ask, because the more exposure you get, the better your fundraiser will do. So just another small tip, there's local newspapers and magazines like Snapped, SNAP''D. They oftentimes feature events for free. You can contact a local radio station or television station as well. Having fun with it, your positive energy becomes contagious, and it will make your friends and family want to donate. That's just another really awesome tip, and it'll help you enjoy the process away. Webinars, we've talked a lot about thanking your donors. This is especially important with online fundraising. I'm proud by displaying those good manners and thanking the people who have supported you along the way. Gratitude and appreciation is the right thing to do. It shows maturity and shows professionalism. Donor individually is an especially good idea if you plan to fundraise again in the future, maybe for another MeetAway trip, and you hope to ask the same people for support. The way to thank your donors, you will receive a notification every time someone donates to your online fundraising page. Thanking your donor as quickly as humanly possible. Make it personal. Even if you copy and paste the same message over and over, personalize that. Make sure to do one thing and ask them to share the link as well in that thank you. That might be a really great idea. So when someone donates to a page, you will get that email notification letting you know someone donated, unless you turn that function off. If you don't, you'll get that email. Here, you just need to copy and paste the donor email into a new message and send a thank you. Use the campaign update tool in the dashboard of your page to thank all your donors on your campaign all at once. Or you can download a donation report from that report center that we looked at. We'd give you all of your donor information at once, and then you can manually connect with your donor that way. So if you want to maybe send a little gift in the mail, or give them a call, or send a handwritten note, you can do that as well. We are going to jump into a really great section of the webinar tonight. We're going to be talking about those super quickly fundraising ideas that will fill those gaps. So do you still have any fundraising gaps to fill? Have you run out of fundraising ideas? Are you scraping the bottom of the barrel? And looking for quick fundraising ideas that will fit into your busy schedule? Well, we're going to talk quickly now about some ways to answer those questions. So I talk about some quick and easy fundraising activities that anybody can do to add to their plan that will help them meet their goal as quickly as possible. It's not going to be things that are going to require tons and tons of time and planning. You're really going to be simplifying fundraising by using some of these activities. Is the easiest of easy. This is in lieu of gifts. So if you have a birthday, if you have graduation, or if you have some sort of celebration coming up, instead of gifts that you can ask for donations towards your trip, this is going to be a really, really easy way to fundraise. Maybe you can send out invitations or cards to all of your friends around your birthday, just reminding them that you're not interested in gifts. You'd rather have a donation to your trip. Maybe you can include the link to your page right in that card or that invitation. An easy way to fundraise. Easy way to fundraise is a bottle or recycling drive. Now, I love these type of fundraisers because they are free. They cost $0. So we are now approaching March, which is St. Patrick's Month. Now, what do people do on St. Patrick's Day? They celebrate. So there'll be lots and lots of bottles for you to collect the weekend or the week right after St. Patrick's Day. So during St. Patrick's Day to do a bottle drive, or collecting old phones or old batteries and bringing those to a recycling depot. A lot of those will pay for your old cell phones, old tablets, old electronics. So you could do a bottle or recycling drive. All great for the environment. Next, babysitting, pet sitting, and dog walking. Now, this is one of my favorites because I have a dog at home, and I don't always want to walk him, especially in the winter time. So if I had a dog walker, I would be the very happiest person. So why not offer your services as a dog walker or pet sitting? Just to give you an idea, I went away for a couple of weeks back in January, and I got someone to pet sit my dog, and they made for me $150 free clear for pet sitting my dog for a couple of weeks. So if that's something that you are able to do, that would be a great way to earn some extra money towards your trip. Another way that you can offer your services or use your unique skills is tutoring. So you can set up a tutor service. Maybe you're awesome at math or science, or you know a language that you can teach. French, there's oftentimes people looking for French tutors. Once a week I volunteer at a school doing a reading buddy system, but you might be able to find something like that pays as well, that you can teach young children how to read better, or they a reading program or reading buddy where you're like their tutor. This is something that I did when I fundraised for my trip, is coaching and teaching. So like I mentioned before, I did power skating, and I held power skating sessions for novice hockey players. So that worked really well for me. An avid cook. Cooking lessons is something that people are really, really keen to try these days. And also music lessons, like maybe you play the guitar or the ukulele, and you can advertise music lessons because people are always looking for music teachers. Those general odd jobs. Raised for one of my trips, my mom set me up with a friend of hers who's me. We're looking for some help doing the inventory. I went in and some things and counted things, and they gave me a couple $100 to help them with that. You could do odd jobs like mowing the lawn or shoveling snow, or gardening, or you could be some fundraisers this year did brilliant fundraisers this year, over 18 by the way, and have their driver's license, acted as designated drivers for people after a holiday party or something like that. So doing something like that. Like I mentioned, or even cleaning someone's garage or painting or something like that. Offering your services or offering to do odd jobs for a couple extra dollars is oftentimes an easy way to fit a fundraiser into your schedule. Growing. Now, some fundraisers this year have been really successful connecting to their local grocery store and setting up bagging stations. So they help bag groceries, and they had a donation jar to collect donations. So we've got some fundraisers who've been really successful here. So connecting with your local grocery store to see if they're interested in allowing you to set a bagging station at their cash registers. And you have a couple of friends who can volunteer to bag groceries as well for a couple hours. You have a couple of donation jars. You're maximizing your fundraising by having more people support you that way. And it was very silly, and it might not take a lot of time, but it might take a lot of stress. But this is either yourself or volunteers. Maybe it's your principal or a teacher. They commit to shaving their heads if a specified amount is raised by the deadline. So this is something kind of silly that you can do to maximize your fundraising as well. If you're very keen to do something like cut your hair, I've also seen people do things like this at school where they sell pieces of duct tape to duct tape a teacher to the wall or something like that. So something really like the Go Hairless or the duct tape fundraiser isn't going to take a ton of your time. And to continue on to the school fundraisers, doing things like coin wars, have all of the homerooms, giving them a jar to collect coins in and having a competition, or having a jar of jelly beans and asking people to pay $5 or $2 to guess how many jelly beans are in the jar, and whoever's the closest gets to keep the whole jar of jelly beans. Or a casual day, or city day at school is very uniform. Everybody pays $1 or $2 to wear their street clothes for a day, or maybe their pajamas for a day, and then you're able to keep all of the money that people pay to wear their PJs. Similar to the way a buyout works. So if your school is supportive, you could maybe hold a documentary screening during fourth period, and if everybody wants to get out of fourth period, they buy out for $1 and they come to the documentary screening, which is also educational, so your school probably wouldn't be as opposed to this. So they come to buy out, they watch the documentary, and you get to keep all of the amount of money that people buy out of their fourth period for. quick and easy fundraising activities to get those creative juices flowing. So think of what you have access to. What are you good at? What do people around you want? What are they, what are they looking for? Are you able to have, like Tupperware parties or an Arbonne fundraiser, quick and easy fundraising activities that you can do, with some of your friends and family, but also you can do on your own by offering your services to do odd jobs like tutoring and coaching. More time before we wrap up today, I just wanted to kind of show you the fundraising buckets again once more, just to focus on the fact that we talk about online fundraising today, but we've also talked about sponsorships and partnerships, events, profit, and fundraising activities in this webinar. If you have questions about any of these fundraising buckets or you want to know more, have a peek at our YouTube channel and watch the webinars that focus on the other buckets if you want to know more about that specific bucket. But realistically, you want to have your hand in all of these fundraising buckets at the same time in order to maximize your fundraising. So it's important that even if you've got other fundraising initiatives in the works, that you have an online fundraising page, especially towards the end of your fundraiser when you're trying to collect all of those remaining dollars to make sure that you reach your goal. So this could be something that you set up in the final stretch in order to, make sure that you fill those gaps to reach your goal. Great. So today we've talked again about online fundraising and fundraising activities, how to set up your online fundraising page, and how to make sure that you're expanding the reach of it by customizing it, by ensuring that you're telling your story, using fun incentives, promoting it, and be persistent. So our live fundraising webinars will be held every 2 weeks, and we'll continue to go deeper into the 5 fundraising buckets. So we'll talk a little bit more about all of these fundraising buckets in the next webinar. On your email inbox for fundraising resources and webinar invites, because the next live webinar is our last webinar. It's on Tuesday, March 7th at 7 p.m. We will be focusing on really quick and easy spring fundraising ideas, as well as success stories and last-minute fundraising ideas that are proven to work. So a very, very, very important webinar if you're still working on filling some gaps. So all of the ideas from next webinar will be from all 5 of the fundraising buckets. So we'll make sure we talk about a whole diverse amount of fundraisers. Last, please do feel free to reach out to us here if you have any questions or if you want to discuss your plan in more detail. We are always happy to help any way that we can. I love to talk about fundraising, and I am totally here corner 100%, but we also have an amazing team of trip coordinators who are equally invested in your success and really want to make sure that you reach your goal. So we are all here. We've got a fundraising team that is ready to support you for anything and everything that you need. So please don't hesitate to let us know if there's anything that we can do to support. So much again for coming tonight. I really appreciate your joining me on this lovely Thursday evening. I'm going to stay here for a little while, and if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out in the chat box, and I will go ahead and address those questions right now. So thanks again. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening and a great almost weekend. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, please reach out to me, and I'm happy to help any way that I can. Thank you again, and have a wonderful night.